Hello everyone, it's Ink here, and welcome back to Star Trek Armada 3, Part 2 of Ink is an Idiot. So once again I am narrating over previously recorded footage, because I don't know how to actually turn off my mute switch on my microphone. So let's see, we just got our Prometheus, and I gave it the Assault Run ability, and we're checking our search to get more logistics slots and getting some upgrades on all the basic stuff, because as you can see there's very little in the way of actual researches which has been done, which is terrible. And we're getting culture upgrades because we get bonus shield regen when we're inside our own culture. 20% boosted shield regen is not to be sniffed at. And this is me discussing the fact that I'm getting culture research, and I have good reason to. And now I believe we're about to get the research, which will enable us to detect people coming in from 2 jumps away. Maybe. We will see. No, we're just randomly looking around at different research. Oh, no. Maybe. 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 Looking at researches, no, we're going to boost up our mineral income, which is a good choice to make. And getting even more armor research, because armor is good. And we've got a pretty decent fleet going. Largest one we've ever had, in fact. We have our full wing of Mark II Valkyries running around and doing their thing. And we've got even more pirates coming through. These ones, these are the ones which are technically targeting the Dominion, but hey look, they're coming to say hi to us anyway. Which is kind of a good thing. If they'd decided to head for Mercury instead, then there wouldn't have been much that we could do to counter them. As it is, they're coming here, so we can just move our entire battle fleet in and say hi. And we're getting even more defense stations. I'm getting a second repair dock, because more repairs are good. And I believe we have technically maxed out our logistics slots here, or maybe we will at the next upgrade, but somewhere in the tech tree I think we have an upgrade which will give us more tactical slots. So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, we're getting some research which will boost the number of hangars, the number of squadrons which we get in our stationary hangars. And we have our Prometheus. Yes, the Prometheus does get the ability to split into 3. I'm not super sure about how that ability really works. I know that the Galaxy gets a similar one. And I'm sure that we'll get it at some point if we ever actually get a capital ship to survive beyond like rank 2 or 3. We haven't been doing too well with that because, well, the Borg keep nuking it. Which sucks. It'd be really nice to get a capital ship which actually survives long enough to be useful. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, so what can you do? Now, we are considering what we can get next, because we have a fairly decent fleet, but we do have some gaps in it. And we are actually going to look at getting New Orleans class siege cruisers, which we neglected for a while because getting close-in combat vessels was more important. But the New Orleans is actually kind of a big deal because it is very long-ranged, and its base damage isn't amazing, but it has an ability called Siege Mode, which spikes its damage output through the roof, at the cost of some of its rate of fire and its defenses. The basic idea being that you get a mob of New Orleans, set them at maximum range, turn Siege Mode on, and they start chewing apart big tough targets, like Borg cubes. So we're gonna start getting some of those going, and we'll have to see if that actually does anything in practice. You can see here that these are, by the little ones next to them, those are actually pirate capital ships, theropod class Gorn vessels. And here I just noticed that they'd actually sent pirates at the Dominion, and was trying to work out how that number had got so high, and I wasn't entirely sure what had happened, because I saw that the Borg didn't have any bounty next to them. Of course, due to the re-recording, I was prepared for this, and I spotted that it all went down because I killed that sphere. The more you know. In the meantime, we have our fleet looking fairly healthy. We've got a lot of population that's built up. Now building our New Orleans. Which is going to be a small problem because we are a little bit starved on dilithium. Our dilithium and titanium incomes are really not up to par, to be honest. Hopefully we can get that to go somewhere in the future. But our economy, just our research overall, kind of needs to catch up, because we've been investing a fair amount into our ships, which would work if we didn't keep losing them, which sucks. And we're looking at a sizable Borg sub-capital fleet, which is a little awkward. Being a little bilocutus, they don't have that much in the way of actual capital ships in that unit, so silver linings. And we're zooming back in, and observing the fact that this assimilated scout just won't die, which is annoying. And our fleet is running off to chase them, and they're never going to catch, because that's a scout. Excuse me. So now we're probably wittering about something which I have no idea what it was, and probably isn't that important. Oh well. But the scout's still running off, and it has a lot of bombers running after it, so don't slow down. Don't slow down under any circumstances. We do actually have some spare slots here, so I'm actually going to, inspired by that scout running away from us, we're going to get a few Mark I Valkyries as fighter support, which we're not going to need to kill enemy fighters, but will be kind of handy for chasing down quicker ships. Meanwhile, we have this large Borg fleet moving along, doing their thing, including a few assimilated vessels. You can see there is a sonar battleship, the icon for a Breen destroyer. I believe they have a couple of Galore class cruisers as well. Meanwhile, more pirates, because why wouldn't they be pirates? There are always pirates. And the Borg are actually sending, it looks like they're sending some obelisks through to Mercury. I'm not sure if the Cardassian defenses there are going to be enough to deal with it. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if I remember to take a look during this episode. I guess we'll find out. If we do lose Mercury, then that's going to be kind of a hit to our economy. We've got a lot of mineral asteroids there. On the other hand, if we do lose it and then manage to retake it, then we can continue with our original plan, which was to stack a load of resource refineries there to help boost up our dilithium and titanium income, which is kind of our limiting factor. I mean, we're always going to need more credits, but, oh, here we go. Detection from 2 systems away, which is going to be helpful in terms of making sure that we're prepared for Borg movements. Now, it's not the best. There are, I believe that the Borg have an upgrade which allows them to see movement anywhere on the map. But that's not something that we get. And hello, we've got a Borg vessel coming in. And just dealing with the fact that Borg upgrades are terrifying, because that is a probe. That's the equivalent of a Miranda, and it has nearly 5,000 health. It's a little silly. Of course, that's not going to help it not be blown to hell by that Dominion fleet. But now I'm getting mildly excited by the fact that, hello, there's a large Dominion fleet here, so if I move along with that, then we'll have a combined fleet, and we might be able to do things. And it's like I wasn't even aware that that was allowed. So, we have our first New Orleans class, which you can see they're kind of squishy. They don't have a great deal of damage. 52 photon damage is kind of small potatoes compared to a lot of the vessels that we have, especially when you consider how much the New Orleans costs. But take a look at that. Take a look at siege mode. By the way, the reason why there are two engage siege mode buttons, the first one is this ship. The second one affects all New Orleans class nearby it. It's like so you don't actually have to you don't have to have every New Orleans selected. You can just make sure that one of the group is selected and just hit that, which is good because generally when you activate abilities in Sins of a Solar Empire, it only activates them for that ship. So having the group activate means that you don't have to rapidly tab through to get all of them hit doing the siege mode thing. Meantime, we have, you can see our little Valkyrie Mark 1s there, and a bigger squadron of Mark 2s going in to punch that Borg vessel, whatever it is. I don't know, I think that might be, that's an obelisk, yeah. And it's trying to shoot things, and it's not really going to get that very far before it dies horribly. Which makes me happy. Just look at all those micro quantum torpedoes. And here we have a Mark 1 Valkyrie with its little pulse phasers. Alrighty. And we can see there that the Dominion fleet is heading through to Sol, so I decide, okay, let's do the thing. Let's see if a combined fleet can do what individually we have failed to do. So, fleet assembling. Well, let's go get them. Alrighty, and we're checking our research and seeing what we can get going. And multi-tronic arrays. Basically, that is more multi-targeting for our capital ships, making sure that they can hit more targets at once, which is always helpful. It's not quite as helpful against the Borg because they tend to have smaller fleets of bigger, scarier ships. But they do have some stuff going on, like we just saw that fairly sizable fleet running around. And getting some more phaser upgrades because our damage output is terrible. And it's kind of a good question as to whether we need more defenses or more offense quicker, because having seen a couple of disastrous battles which didn't make it to video, yeah, I can comfortably say that Borg ships don't die fast enough. Like in that big engagement between two cubes in my main fleet, I didn't actually manage to kill either cube, despite losing pretty much my entire fleet. So, yeah, that sucked. There's a reason why some of these episodes I just scrap and reload the save file. It's massively cheating, but I figure that it's more interesting watching me avoid big scary battles than go into them, see lots of pretty explosions, and then have to spend an episode rebuilding and bemoaning my stupidity. So we have pirates coming through again, because why wouldn't they be? Looks like they tried to get into another bidding war. You can see that there's a bit of Borg bounty there, which evidently crashed a bit. They lost something. I figure the Dominion bounty will go down at some point, but we're getting some upgrades for our space station, just to make sure that it's all in good shape. And the Dominion is turning around, so we're going to turn around as well. Because there's a lot of pirates coming through. There's going to be even more soon. There's just so many pirates coming through. I'm beginning to wonder whether it might not make sense just to ignore the Borg for a moment and actually go kill that pirate base. Just so we've got one less thing to deal with. I mean, the flip side to that is that it's going to cost us some resources. A pirate base isn't worth all that much. And, we're getting some consistent XP off these guys. I mean, the flip side is that we're going to have to deal with the Borg, and have to keep dealing with pirates running around behind our backs and trying to kill things. Yeah, you can see we've engaged siege mode there, so all of our little photon volleys are going to hit that much harder. It's kind of hard to judge just from watching torpedoes impact how much damage they're doing. The feedback in this game is a little wonky at times. Or at least a little delayed. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on sometimes. We've got our main fleet coming back, and we will see what happens with that. So yeah, something which I may do in the next episode is take my fleet through and actually just go ahead and kill that pirate base. Because it's likely to be a softer target than taking on the Borg, but it'll give us some experience on our capitals. It'll give us another outpost out there. Pirate bases are interesting because they don't have any logistic slots, just tactical slots. So all we'll be able to do is stack up on defenses there. But it'll be another place which we can withdraw to and fortify heavily. And we will see what comes out of that. And we're having big concerns about what to get, and we're getting more carriers, because you can't go wrong with the carriers. Meanwhile, this fleet is slowly dying.
All sections ready.
Alrighty. So yeah, you see what I mean in the last episode about playing will they won't they with the Dominion. Kind of want to stick around that Dominion fleet, make sure that they are doing what I want them to. I suppose getting split up and everyone dying horribly, which is something else which could happen. I believe that you can actually order the AI, or at least ask the AI to help out in a specific location by pinging them. I guess we'll find out next episode. In the meantime, we have pirates to murder. Murder them pirates. Explodey, explodey.
Alert the group.
Yep, we've got more carriers being built. And yeah, the Dominion fleet's ready to move out again, so we are going to head out as well. And in the next episode...